Hello there, EM Fresh here for Fresh Extreme, and today I am going to install the new Rockshox Zeb Ultimate with the Charger 3 damper. And then I'll give my little review of it. It's two parts. One is me installing it, and the second is me riding it. Okay, here's the Rockshox box. Zeb box comes in. Comes with a mud guard. Here, I'm just going to set it over here. Some screws for the mud guard. It has two spacers. I think 5 can be installed in this particular version, in the 180 version. So it looks like there should be 3 already installed, maybe. And then the nut to install the steerer tube onto. Useless papers that tell you to go where to go online to find the manual for your Zeb. And here's the actual Zeb, this big old beast right here. Zeb Ultimate. And then on the back you can see where it has, this is the 180 millimeters of travel right here, and then it's a 29er wheel with a 44 millimeter offset. You got the what we call pressure release valves, which I'm very excited about. Get one over here as well. Got the rebound, and then at the base of this, or the top, I don't know which side it goes on, there are what's called the buttercups, which is the reason why I got this Zeb version, because of the buttercups. Hopefully it will eliminate the chatter. Up top here is the charger with the new indentations that you can precisely adjust your high speed compression and low speed compression. And they're supposed to be separate. One should not affect the other. All right, things you need to install. Your fork is a crown race. Okay, that goes onto here. And then you have your things you need to install is the star nut install tool. You put that on there. I did that backwards, I think. I think it goes this way, like that. Okay. And then you just drop it in from the back, upside down, like so. And you push it in. And I'll put a link to this, but you take your hammer and you pound it in to your steerer tube, and it will give you the precise 15 millimeter depth to install the star nut. But we'll put that to the side for a second because we have to cut the fork down. And then this is the crown race pounder. Some people use, I've seen on YouTube, they use the just a pipe, PVC pipe. You get it from Lowe's or Home Depot. But I'll use this burring tool to smooth out the edges on top of the fork, so that's nice and smooth. So when you put your cap on, it will be nice and flush to the top of the steerer tube. Then you need your a cutter, a pipe cutter. And this one, I just got it from Lowe's. You can use any pipe cutter. Then the next thing you need is a digital caliper. Or you can use a measuring tape just to show you how far to cut your steerer tube down to. I have a 6-inch one here, but I highly recommend you get the longest you can possibly get. And then you see a piece of paper. I'm going to use this to measure the other, my other fork. So what I'm taking off is the Mezzer Pro. And it's still a good fork. I'm just testing some things out. So I'm not saying that the Rockshox or the Mezzer Pro is a better fork than the other. But I just want to test this Zeb to see if it is actually better, just for the buttercups, to see if that vibration damping on the small bumps and the braking bumps will go away. But I'm going to use this as a measuring tool because my caliper is not long enough to measure the cut of the steerer tube. And then you need a pen to mark where to cut at. All right, here's my Mezzer Pro. And then here's the Zeb First, we can see that they're not the same. I'm gonna just match my Mezzer Pro sear tube length and then just cut it to the same size. So maybe more accurate is put my crown race on first. I found this Cane Creek one, looks pretty nice. I'll drop it on. Then I'm gonna take this tool here and then pound it down. The edges, yep. As you can see here, I measured where to cut it based on my last fork, the Mezzer Pro. So now I'm going to cut around this. And I'm gonna go 3 millimeters below it. I mean, you can pretty much eyeball, as long as it's a little bit below. Now, I have one on the other side, so just so you can see. I can see the line here. Just go a few millimeters below. Slide around just to be sure. You don't have to be that perfect, but I'm gonna tighten it up. Just go around a few times. Like that. You keep twisting I'm twisting it tighter. You think it's coming loose, but it's not. It's just going deeper into the steer tube. It's kind of unbelievable that just a little cut like this could break this top of your, and there you have it. There. You can see where I'm a few millimeters below the top of that. There's like little jagged edges on there. So now you want to take your, I think they call it deburing tool. That's what this is called. And then you're just going to take it, just go in a circle. It'll go like this. It's going to smooth the top of the edges to make it smoother. All right, I'm just going to fast forward so you don't, but just count to 30. Feel like you don't want you want to be as smooth as possible. And the more you change your fork, the easier it comes. I had a hard time before, but now I'm starting to get a hang of it. Wipe the shavings off, see all the shavings on my hand. Make sure none of those are on the tube. All right, got that cleaned. So, and then the next thing we're going to do is put the star nut in. And I think I showed you that before. I have the star nut already in there. The star nut setter tool. And all you do is you stick it on top like this. And now I need a hammer. All right, so you got your hammer. You want to use a rubber hammer if you can, like it's a mallet. It's actually called a mallet. And then you're just gonna bang down until the nut's in there all the way. And you'll know because this little pointy tip here will be flush. And that's approximately 15 millimeters. I'll show you. Somehow it works out. This tool makes it easy so you don't have to guess. You just double check. It's flush, so I can't push it down anymore. And then you just unscrew this piece here, because this is where your top cap's going to screw into. It actually, this screw here, but if you have this tool, make sure to take that out. That doesn't belong in there. Okay. All right, just screw it back in there. Okay, the next thing you want to do, I forget what they call this on the bottom, but they're like your bearings. Might want to pull that out. The trick makes it easy. They're all together. And you want to clean, this off with your shop towel. I got a little bit of grease on my hand. Okay, so you want to take some of your part tool. I have some grease. You can use any grease out there. It's not a big deal. And I'm just going to put it a little bit on each side here. What it's going to do when I put this grease on, I'll just allow the crown of the bearing here to stick and not fall off while I'm trying to put the fork back on. So I'm pretty generous with this. I put a lot of it on there. I'll also show you another way to measure your tube. Hands off, and I'm going to put the fork on. Oh, another thing that you need to do too, you don't need very much down here because when it turns, self-lubricate itself. Make sure I have it the right way too. I have it on backwards. You know, you put on, you can steer it, turn around, but sometimes you might forget to, I know I do all the time, forget to turn the fork around the right. And now I have these bungee cords, okay, because I don't have a helper. If you have a helper, it's actually easier to put this on, but if you don't, you can get a bungee cord. And I'm going to just, so you can hold it in place, the top cap's on and all the other spacers. Okay, so it's holding it there, see? It'll come out a little bit, but at least it's not falling down on the ground. Remember how you set up your, on a knock block? Yours might be different on Trek, they call it knock block. So your steer doesn't go all the way down. All right, two. I'm going to put on my handlebar and the stem. I also have this, you can't see it, but I have a bungee cord holding the handlebar up. And then it's also being held by the bottle holder, or your water bottle holder, so it doesn't fall down on the ground. And then put your cables out. Slide this back on. Hopefully if I cut it correctly, it should go back on. If not, I'm fucked because I cut the steer down too short, but I have some space. You can file them down, but think about this. If you have a partner, gotta make sure the top part here is flush when you stick it on. Last cap's on and pray that I didn't cut too much off. They say you get better and better every single time. This screws are pretty light. You don't have to tighten it very tight. You just, all it does is just hold it just enough tension just to hold the bike on. So you got the brake. You need so many tools. So you get your 2.5 millimeter Allen key here and screw the brake in. And I'm not going to tighten it completely, just enough so it can move. All right, almost done. And I'm going to put my wheel on, or the caliper. It's pretty much cut and dry when you put your brake on. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is used as the 5 Allen key. Like I said, it's easier when you have a friend or a partner to help you put this on. Be sure not to, if you don't have like a brake shim, do not press your brake. Okay, don't press your brake. Otherwise, you have a whole bunch of problems. Because you won't be able to unclamp your brake. In there a little bit. Up in there. There we go. Shit. All right. Come with it. Okay. Well, that's basically it. Once you get your brake on there, you'll be good to go. Looks like you might need an adapter for this version. So I don't have the adapter, but I'm gonna try to put some washers in, because this comes the slash, depending on how big your rotor is. This one is 220 millimeters, I believe. Can't see. Okay. But there you have it.